Hi guys, this is Ashley and I'm back with part 2 with talking about my depression. I wanted to thank everybody who sent well wishes and prayers after my first video. I appreciate it. I'm not going to lie, it was a little overwhelming. The video, when I first uploaded the video was almost like an exhale for me. I felt like daily, like I couldn't breathe, still feel that way. And the video was just a moment of me exhaling and a moment of me being vulnerable and pulling back the curtains on what's going on in my life daily. So it was very hard, but it was received well, and I'm really thankful for that. I did feel as though, not that I felt, it was kind of a fact, there were a lot of people who had watched me struggle the past 3.5 months. And, you know, all of a sudden, these people are reaching out, and it kind of, you know, it kind of was overwhelming, and it kind of like messed with my anxiety a little bit. I almost felt as though I was a train wreck, right? And people are standing around watching the accident as it's happening, but nobody provides any support. And then after that video, then all of a sudden I have people who have been silently watching me struggle, you know, now reach out. And for me, someone who has a hard time, you know, being that open publicly and with strangers, it was very difficult. You don't ever want to question people's intentions, but it did kind of take me back a little bit. I felt like some people checked on me just to pacify themselves. You know, there was people that know that they should have been here and they haven't. And when they seen that video, you know, suddenly they remember my phone number and they call and they text. But it's like, hey, are you all right? You good? All right, you're still here. Click, you know. And I feel like those people kind of just check on me to make themselves feel better in a way. I had a lot of people telling me, you know, reach out to them if anything. And to be honest, I can't speak about depression, I guess, when it comes to everybody. I guess it looks different. But with me, I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I don't really have the mental capacity to at the moment. It takes a lot of strength for me to do the most mundane things, a lot of mental strength. So I feel like if a person wanted to support me or be there for me, they would, without me having to constantly check in or chase down a person to be there for me. Also, when it comes along with that, you know, a lot of people ask me, how am I? I get that question almost daily. And that's one of the hardest questions for me to answer. Sometimes I'm like, how do you think I am? You know, I lost the love of my life. I'm not capable right now of doing anything that once brought me joy. How do you think I am? So even though usually it's a sincere question, it's a common question, it's so loaded when it comes to someone that you know is struggling. And I have two options. I can either choose to be extremely vulnerable with the person asking me that, or I can lie. And 90% of the time, I do the latter. feel like most people, not that they don't care, but your burden is your own to carry. And a lot of people, when they ask stuff like that, they're not really looking for you to unpack what you're going through. So normally I don't. And when it comes to that as well, like anybody who knows me can tell you, I'm always a strong person, right? I'm the strong friend. I'm the strong sister, the strong aunt. And that's my role in life. I've always been that, regardless of anything that I've been through, that my loved ones or family have been through. I've always maintained a solid foundation in other people's lives. So because of that, the majority of the people in my life don't know how to support me. They're not used to seeing any cracks in my foundation. And that video was me exposing a few of those cracks. So with that, I can say that, support for everybody looks different. But sometimes just telling a person you hear them, sometimes just listening, sometimes a hug goes a long way, as opposed to ignoring the situation. There were many people in my life that had seen the video and just completely ignored the situation, and that doesn't make anything better. It doesn't. I understand that it's difficult being there for certain people, but you can be there in whatever capacity you're able to. For example, one of my friends, she was aware that I hadn't been cooking, that many days I don't eat because I have no appetite. So she went and got me food. And when I tell you that had meant so much to me, I can't even tell you what that meant. I could have gone and gotten the food myself, but sometimes I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to see the outside world. I don't want the cashier to ask me, how are you? Or something so simple trigger me and all of a sudden I'm crying. So that meant a lot. Some people know, some people don't. I have been taking a social media break. I'm normally someone who, at least on my Instagram, I'm very active. And I post pretty much daily in my stories and usually post a few times a week. I had to take a social media break for a few reasons. One of them being that I started realizing I wasn't doing good, even though I thought I was, when I would get upset at other people's happiness. I would see couples that I know getting engaged, and I've never been a jealous or envious person, but all of a sudden those things broke my heart. When you realize the person that you want all these things with is no longer here. So I had to take a step back, just to collect myself a little bit. I'm sorry, I said I was not going to cry. I know this video is kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that. I had a really rough day. It's just, thoughts that I had. And I was having an extremely rough day, and I was kind of just using this video as a way to exhale. I was cleaning my house, and I honestly can't tell you what it was, but for some reason I just broke down crying. And it's always the days that I think I'm okay, where I feel like I can do this, those are the days that I randomly just feel like I've been kicked in my stomach. The pain just kind of makes you drop to the ground, you know? It just paralyzes you, and time just flies by. I know that this is going to be a difficult battle for me. I know it's also going to be a long battle, but right now it's a battle that I'm winning. Many people have reached out and tried to tell me what they feel I should do. And while those suggestions are appreciated, most of the time I can't take them. When you have a difficult time getting out of bed, how do you gather the strength to do all these fun activities, or, you know, go for hikes or meditate? I'm someone who meditates regularly. I've always been a person that was connected to a certain life force, a certain energy. But right now, I can't meditate. Right now, I'm afraid of my own mind. Sometimes when I meditate, I see things. And some of my visions are hard to take in. It's hard to see. So right now, I haven't been meditating, you know. Right now, I'm barely praying. I cry to God, I scream out. But, you know, the go to church, the meditate, the go to nature, it feels like the most difficult task in the world. And I wonder what the rest of my life is going to look like. But we take it again moment by moment, and we stack the wins. So if you're struggling with depression, if you know someone who's struggling with depression, I hope that you're able to find something just to hang on to and keep you here, and know that if nobody else loves you, I'm sending love your way. You got this. Let's make it through this.